May the peace of the Lord be with you all. Today's Gospel Reflection, July 28, 2025, Monday.
Moses turned and came down the mountain, with the 2 tablets of the commandments in his hands, tablets that were written on both sides, front and back, tablets that were made by God, having inscriptions on them that were engraved by God himself. Now, when Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "That sounds like a battle in the camp." But Moses answered, "It does not sound like cries of victory, nor does it sound like cries of defeat. The sounds that I hear are cries of revelry." As he drew near the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. With that, Moses' wrath flared up, so that he threw the tablets down and broke them on the base of the mountain. Taking the calf they had made, he fused it in the fire, and then ground it down to powder, which he scattered on the water and made the children of Israel drink. Moses asked Aaron, "What did this people ever do to you, that you should lead them into so grave a sin?" Aaron replied, "Let not my Lord be angry. You know well enough how prone the people are to evil. They said to me, 'Make us a god to be our leader.' As for the man Moses who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him." So I told them, "Let anyone who has gold jewelry take it off." They gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and this calf came out. On the next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a grave sin. I will go up to the Lord then. Perhaps I may be able to make atonement for your sin." So Moses went back to the Lord and said, This people has indeed committed a grave sin, in making a god of gold for themselves. If you would only forgive their sin. If you will not, then strike me out of the book that you have written." The Lord answered, "Him only who has sinned against me will I strike out of my book. Now, go and lead the people to the place I have told you. My angel will go before you. When it is time for me to punish, I will punish them for their sin." Responsorial Psalm. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Our fathers made a calf in Horeb, and adored a molten image. They exchanged their glory for the image of a grass-eating bullock. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. They forgot the God who had saved them, who had done great deeds in Egypt, wondrous deeds in the land of Ham, terrible things at the Red Sea. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Then he spoke of exterminating them. But Moses, his chosen one, withstood him in the breach, to turn back his destructive wrath. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good.
The Gospel of the Lord according to Matthew. Jesus proposed a parable to the crowds. "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, that a person took and sowed in a field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, yet when full grown it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches." He spoke to them another parable. "The kingdom of heaven is like yeast, that a woman took and mixed with 3 measures of wheat flour, until the whole batch was leavened." All these things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables, to fulfill what had been said through the prophet. "I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what has lain hidden from the foundation of the world." The Gospel of the Lord. In this Gospel reading, Jesus shares 2 brief yet powerful parables, the mustard seed and the yeast. To describe the nature of God's kingdom, he compares the kingdom to a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, which grows into a large tree, or birds find shelter. He then likens it to yeast that a woman mixes into a large amount of flour until it works through the whole dough. These images of smallness growing into greatness are central to understanding how God's kingdom works in our lives and in the world. Jesus often used simple, familiar things to reveal deep spiritual truths, and these parables remind us that God's work may begin in ways that seem insignificant, yet they hold the power to transform everything. The mustard seed teaches us that God delights in small beginnings. Many times, we look for instant success, visible results, or grand gestures to prove something is meaningful. But the way of the kingdom is different. God's greatest works often start in quiet, hidden ways, like a seed buried in soil, faith planted in the heart, a kind word offered in love, a prayer whispered in secret. All seem small, but are full of divine potential. The same applies to our own lives. We may feel small or unnoticed, but God can use our simple obedience to accomplish great things in His time. Just as the mustard seed becomes a tree offering shade and shelter, our acts of faith can grow into blessings for others. The yeast, on the other hand, symbolizes the quiet yet powerful influence of God's kingdom. Unlike the seed, which grows visibly, yeast works invisibly. It is mixed in and hidden in the dough, yet its effect is undeniable. It causes the entire dough to rise. This is how God often moves, not in noise or spectacle, but through persistent, transformative presence. A life lived in truth and love can slowly influence a family, a workplace, a school, or a community. It reminds us not to underestimate the power of quiet faithfulness. One person walking in the Spirit can be the yeast that lifts the whole environment toward hope and healing. Both parables speak not only of God's work in a world but also His work within us. His kingdom starts in our hearts, something as small faith, as a longing for something more, as a gentle stirring toward change. When we welcome God's word, even in a small way, He nurtures it. Over time, that seed grows into maturity, and that yeast rises into action. These parables call us to be patient, hopeful, and trusting. Transformation takes time, but God is faithful. Even when we do not see immediate results, we can be assured that the kingdom is advancing within us and around us. So what should we do in light of this? First, never despise small beginnings. If God has planted something in your life, such as a calling, a desire, a gift, nurture it with care. Second, be faithful in little things. A kind word, a humble act, or a short prayer may be the start of something great. Finally, be the yeast in your environment. Live with integrity, speak with love, serve with joy, and let God use your quiet witness to lift others up. You may not always see the results, but trust that God's kingdom is growing. In a world obsessed with instant results and outward success, Jesus calls us to a deeper reality. That small things, when surrendered to God, become instruments of great impact. Like the mustard seed and the yeast, let us be willing to start small, act faithfully, and trust that God is building His kingdom through us in ways far beyond what we can imagine.